already have seated in the studio our first guest on the program. Her name is Goreti Reri. Holds a bachelor's degree in English and an MBA with a marketing concentration from the University of Ibadan. She also holds a master's degree in education, specializing in special education from Javert University, Cincinnati, Ohio. She's certified to teach special education from pre-K through high school in the state of Texas, and has been teaching in that capacity in the last 17 years. Over the span of her career, she has taught students with various forms of disabilities, including autism, Down syndrome, intellectual disability, cerebral palsy, ADHD, and learning disabilities. She has worked as a classroom teacher, a parent trainer, and an in-home trainer of students with autism and other developmental disabilities. Reri has also mentored a number of new teachers in the field of special education, a mother of an autistic child, and an advocate for people with developmental disabilities. Reri founded MO Disability Advocacy Incorporated, a non-profit organization whose flagship is the MO Awards. The MO Awards recognizes and honors children and adults with developmental abilities who have made meaningful contributions to their schools or communities. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank very especially Goreti Reri to our studio. Many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a delight.
Okay. With your accent and your looks, let me start from the basics. Are you a Nigerian?
Of course, I'm a Nigerian. I was born in Warri.
Okay.
My parents are from Ogarife. And of course, I'm a Warri. I'm a Warri girl. Born and bred in Warri.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. She's an author. As a matter of fact, she authored the book, My Box of Chocolates. Yeah, that's the book. Yeah. And we'll be talking about the book on the show today. She authored the book, My Box of Chocolate, How My Child with Autism Learned to Read, Write, and More. And she'll be talking to us along those lines, sharing her personal experience. Such a delight to have you on the program.
Thank you.
Or
very
can I
much.
keep this? Can I keep this?
Well, you can if you want to.
Okay, sure. I sure want to.
Okay, you can keep it.
Okay, now, the story surrounding autism is very interesting.
Yes.
Sometimes people see it as the end of life for a child, that so long the child has autism. In some homes, the child is kept in a separated, secluded, isolated environment where the child cannot really mess up.
Yes.
But you had that experience, and then you were able to nurture that child to read, write, and do a whole lot of things.
Absolutely.
But let's start from the basics. What is autism?
Autism is a neurological dysfunction that affects the normal development of the brain in the areas of social interaction and communication skills. So people with autism have difficulty with relating to the outside world, with communicating with people. And they tend to want to stick to themselves.
Okay.
They don't feel comfortable with being with people. And there are so many other characteristics associated with autism that if you read my book, you'll find the details. There's not enough time to go into the details. But what I want to say to people is this. Autism is strictly a medical condition. It is not witchcraft. It is not as a result of water spirits that needs to be pacified. It is not as a result of the sin of the parents. It is strictly a medical condition that is treatable. It does not currently have any cure, but research has demonstrated that with a variety of interventions, including speech therapy, behavior management, in some cases, in rare occasion, medication, good educational programming, all of this combined can yield a wonderful outcome for people with autism. My child is a testimony to that. By age 12, my child could not even speak. Yes. But we did not relent on the interventions. She had speech therapy, she had occupational therapy, she had, very consistent behavior management. And today, at 30 years old, she's able to speak. She's fully functional. She helps herself. I don't do anything for her anymore.
Wow. Wow.
And this is a child that couldn't speak by age 12.
Wow.
So what I want to say to Nigerians who are out there, especially the mothers, don't give up on your child. Do not give up on your child.
Okay.
Yes.
You said a while ago that autism is strictly a medical condition.
Yes.
That can be treated.
Yes.
And that can be managed.
Yes.
How does a parent know that a child is likely, having this challenge?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Very good question. I'm happy you asked this question. There are red flags. In fact, autism, the signs and symptoms of autism can be detected as early as 12 to 24 months.
After birth?
Yes.
Okay.
It can be detected. But it becomes more clear, or it becomes clearer when the child is between 3 and 6 years. But most diagnoses are done actually by age 3. Now, these are the red flags. If your child does not coo, or like what they say, babble, by 12 months, then that's a red flag. If your child cannot grasp something, or cannot hold on to something very tight by age, I believe that would be age 18 months to 24 months, that's a red flag. If your child is not able to say one word by age 24 months, that's a red flag. If your child is not able to say, make a two-phrase, communicate using two-word phrases by age 3, that's a red flag. So you need to go to your pediatrician, and they will do an initial screening of your child. And if they find out that there are things that need further evaluation, then that child will be further evaluated by a team of experts, including a neurologist, a developmental pediatrician, a psychologist, and somebody who is knowledgeable about educational programming of children at that age. So it's a multi-specialist group that will do the evaluation and come out with the diagnosis of autism. But certainly there are red flags.
Okay.
Yes.
So which means parents should watch out for these.
Watch out for those red flags. Okay. And if your child has only one of those red flags, that's enough reason to go see your pediatrician and request the pediatrician for a screening. Okay.
You said you had a child who had this challenge at age 12.
Yes.
Couldn't even speak. But now you're able to manage that child.
Yes.
At age 30 now,
yes.
He can do things for himself.
For herself.
For
yes.
herself.
Yes.
And she's okay.
She's fine.
So what I'm sure all of those thoughts influenced this book, My Box of Chocolates.
Yes.
So tell us what are the things to take from this book?
Very good. My child was diagnosed just before she turned 4. All of those signs I just mentioned, my child had all of them. So I took her to the pediatrician, and one thing led to another, and she was diagnosed with autism just before she was 4. And so that began our journey, and there was a lot of speech therapy, a lot of occupational therapy, a lot of behavior management, and all of that. And, but even with all of that, by age 12, she still wasn't talking.
Wow.
So I'm just letting you know that it takes persistence. You don't give up. We continued in spite of that, and eventually she was able to speak. So it takes a long time. And so So she was able to go through elementary, intermediate school, high school. She graduated high school, but she's not cured of autism. I don't want to give false hope.
Okay.
She's not cured of autism. She's still very, the social skills issues are still there. She still doesn't really like to relate to people. She still likes to keep to herself. And there are so many other symptoms that are there. Time is not, there's not enough time to go into it. The book will explain everything. However, what I will say is this. My experiences of right from when I had her until she graduated secondary school are what I documented in the book. Yes. I wrote the book for two reasons. Let me say that real quick. First is to educate the public, because I feel that people, they may have heard about autism, but I don't think they understand what it is to live with an autistic child from day to day.
Yeah.
I wanted them to see how it is. Just to see how it is. Because when you see how it is, then you will have a better respect for families living with autism. The second reason I wrote it is to share my experiences, like I said, from birth of my child all the way to secondary school graduation, so that the parents who are just beginning right now, those young parents who maybe the doctor just told them, hey, your child has autism, and they are like, what? And they are confused, they are sad, they don't know what to do, like I felt 26 years ago when my child was diagnosed. This book is to tell them how I did mine. My experience is something they can learn from. Let them know it's all hope is not lost.
Absolutely.
Empower them with the knowledge of autism. Give them some strategies that they can use. And just inspire them. It's a wonderful story, and their own will end up well, just like mine ended up well.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful. Now, how can people access this book?
Yes. Currently, the book is only available on Amazon.com.
Okay.
So if you go online and you just go to Amazon.com, it's right there, and it can be shipped to any part of the world. And you can get it on Amazon.com. Yes.
Beautiful. It's been nice talking with Goretti Rari, author of the book, My Box of Chocolate, Personal Life Experience with Autism Child, who she was able to groom to learn how to read, write, and more. I mean, particularly with the fact that at age 12, the child wasn't talking. That's definitely something to be very, very proud of, with the work that you've done. But I think most importantly, in dealing with this situation, the parents should be able to profuse extra love and care for the child. You want to add something to that as we wrap up now?
Yes. The child, there are certain things that parents can do at home. For example, my child, by age 16, she couldn't bathe herself. I had to teach her how to bathe herself. I broke the task into small bits, and I taught her how to. So you work, as a parent, you work in collaboration with the school. The school cannot do everything. I mean, for those who are in school. Yeah. And so what you do is, children with autism, they like routine and schedule. So the one thing you can do, first, starting tomorrow, is to set up a schedule for your child. If your child is, of course, of school age, where at certain times they do certain things. At this time they eat. At this time you read to them. At this time they play with their toys. At this time they do this, they go outside until bedtime. And let that be the same routine day in, day out.
So their lives are planned
structured.
Out. Okay, they're structured. Okay.
They like predictability. Yes, something that is predictable.
Okay.
Yes, they are not. They don't function in a spontaneous, irrational environment. So once you have that, you will even find out that they will start getting better. So,
fantastic, fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Goretti Rari, she's an author. As a matter of fact, the author of the book, My Box of Chocolate, How My Child with Autism Learned to Read, Write, and More. Get a copy of the book, like she said. It's available at Amazon.com, as she said.